to Trucking with Life. If you're stopping in for the very first time, my name is Chuck. Yes, I've made a change to the channel. It used to be the Tulsa Trucker, but a good friend of mine actually dropped a comment in the last video. It said, Chuck, now that you're really not going to be trucking, doesn't mean I won't be trucking in the future. So why not just call your channel Trucking Through Life? And that's perfect. Peter, I want to thank you for that suggestion. And so you guys will now know the channel by that. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, definitely make sure that you do. Come back, and I'm going to be sharing a couple of times a week some things that have made me successful in life, some things that I've done that weren't so successful, and hopefully it can help benefit someone. I'm out here. Actually, behind me is our it's a half-mile walk around a retention pond that we have that has some fountains in it, and it's just a good place. I come over here, usually walk a mile around it. And then I'll go out and walk around the community. Sometimes I'll go to the different parks and things like that in the morning to get my exercise. So I'm about to start that, but I wanted to stop in with you just briefly. And, life is a lot like trucking. They have a lot of good similarities. In trucking, you get up and you're assigned a load. And when you get that load, you have to immediately start doing a few things. You have to, number one, you have to look and see if you have the time. Do you have the time to make this load? Number two, you got to begin to trip plan. You've got to see, where it picks up. You got to see where it's going. You got to, map out your route. Whether you're using a GPS, you're using an atlas or something like that, you've got to get some guidance because you've got to be focused on where you're going. And then when you leave, you go pick up your load, and then you're leaving, because you can run into some roadblocks. You can run into traffic that's really bad in Atlanta. Oh my God, I've been through Atlanta. That's crazy. I don't know how y'all live there. San Antonio, Houston, LA. You could go on and on with some Chicago, where it's just, wall-to-wall cars, depending on when you go through there. You could be driving and have a blowout. Maybe your trailer has a blowout tire. Maybe you're driving, if you have a reefer unit, the reefer starts going off that it's not working anymore. And all those things, check engine light comes on your truck, and it's telling you to stop, and you're like, oh my God. Everything can go haywire. Well, life is a lot like that. You can be just, you can get up and you can say, here's my plan and this is what's going to happen, and all of a sudden things start happening in life. It happens to us all. None of us get through this thing alive. Number one, we're all gonna die at some point in our life. It's the journey that we make, how we do it, how successful we are, really depends on how well we plan. And so I want to start a series in talking about the things that I have done that have gotten me to where I am now. And yes, you're going to hear me say some things over and over every video because there's new people that stop in all the time. And that is, I'm 43 years old. I'm retired. I have a net worth over $1 million, and I want to share with people how you can get there. This isn't some, I'm not selling anything. I'm not, outside of what little I get off of whatever little ads that are on these videos. But I'm not here to sell anything. I'm not here to say, hey, if you buy real estate or you do these different things, and you're going to get these types of, kickbacks or anything like that. I just want to share with you, how I made decisions in life, what were the factors in which I made the decisions in life, and what I think can help benefit you in your life, no matter whether or not you're 22 right now, or maybe you're 65 right now, and maybe you haven't been smart with money. And so I want to share with you, coming through, how to be debt free, how to maybe start a business if you want to, because I've done all those things. I want to share with you how I did things. Now, this is all going to be my opinion. This is going to be how I've gotten to where I am in life. It's kind of like asking people, about, their chili recipe. Everybody's got a grandma's chili recipe, and you can make it a lot of different ways. Well, you can get to where you want to be in life in a lot of different ways. But one thing you have to have is you have to have intention. You've got to be direct at what you're doing. There's a reason why a sniper doesn't have a shotgun. No, they have a high caliber single bullet rifle, because they have to be precise with what they're going to hit. You have to be that way with money. You have to be that way with your life, because see, you can wander into debt, but you can't wander out of it. It's easy to get there. It's easy to go out and buy things you can't afford. It's easy to spend more than you make versus, making money and setting some aside. And sometimes you may be there and you say, Chuck, I'm living paycheck to paycheck. I can't put money aside. Well, we're going to get into that too in the future about how you make that change, because unfortunately over 80% of people in the United States live paycheck to paycheck. We can look straight down this, we look straight down the street right here, and we can count 10 houses, and 8 out of those 10 houses, the people who live in those live paycheck to paycheck. Most people are only 2 paychecks away from being bankrupt. Literally what comes in goes out, and usually there's more going out than that's coming in. That's why they have credit card debt or unsecured loan debts and different things like that. So, my thing is not to tell people this is what you're doing wrong. I just want to share with you with what I did, mistakes I made, things I made that were beneficial to me and my family, and hope that they help somebody. These videos aren't for everyone, and that's okay. I'm not here for views. I'm not here for any of that stuff. My goal is to just share so that maybe you that's watching this right now, maybe it helps you. And if it doesn't, that's okay. But I think it will. I think people need to hear some things. So the first step I'm going to be talking about, I'm going to keep these videos relatively short, but I'm going to be giving you guys little 8 to 10 minute videos a few times a week. And I'm going to give you steps that I have done, things that will make you successful in life. And I think the very first thing that you have to understand in life, the very first step to becoming financially wealthy, there's a difference between wealth and there's a difference between rich. There's a lot of people that are rich, but they're not wealthy. You got a lot of people out here. You got doctors, you got attorneys, you got lawyers, you got all kinds of stuff. They live in $1 million houses. They drive $300,000 cars. They have everything that you can imagine, the pool in the back, the 3 dogs, the 2.5 kids. They've got everything you can imagine, and they're broke. They have no money. They have no wealth. Most millionaires in this country are first generation millionaires. They didn't inherit their money. I didn't inherit any. They went out and they worked and they had a plan and they were focused. But the biggest and the first way that you'll ever make wealth in your life is using the most important tool you'll ever be given, and that is your income. You go to work, I started work when I was 16, whenever you started work, we go to work and we get an income every week, every 2 weeks, every month, whenever you get paid. That is your best wealth building tool. It's not the stock market. It's not any of those other things. Because see, when you get that money that comes into your hands, what you do with it is going to impact how wealthy you will be later in life. Do you get your money and give it to banks? There's a lot of people that get up every day and they go to work and they never see their money. They don't know the last time they looked at a $100 bill, because that's the society we live in now. We can pay with things with our watch. We can pay things with a credit card. Heck, nowadays on Amazon, you just swipe and it comes in 2 days. Well, that's good and that's bad. It's good that it's easy to possess things. It makes it easy in life, but it's also bad that now no longer we feel the pain of losing our money. When you go into a store and you give them your credit card to buy that blouse, that shirt, those pair of shoes, that watch, whatever, they turn around and give you your credit card back, and then they give you the product. Well, that doesn't affect your brain like it would be if you gave them, some Benjamin Franklin's, and he's looking at you on the way. Hey, he's looking at you saying, "Hey, you know how hard you worked for me." There's pain that's involved with that. That's why people don't like to pay with cash, because they feel that pain. Ooh, that hurts. Versus if you pay with a credit card, you feel like you didn't lose anything. It was a piece of plastic. It was a transaction. You gave it to them. They gave you back the product. You put the card back in. There's no sense of loss. But you lost. Now, I'm not saying that you can't go out and buy things, but what I'm saying is it makes it easier for you to overspend on things. That's why everything now is about credit cards. It's all about debit cards. It's all about electronically you buying things. Cash, you hardly see it anymore. When you get paid, it's direct deposit. When you pay your bills, it's online. When very few people write checks anymore. When you go into a grocery store, heck, you can use your Apple Watch, walk up and boom, hey, you can buy the pop and the drinks. People nowadays, heck, you got the Girl Scouts that have square readers, and you walk up, and you want to buy a box of cookies. Oh, you take credit cards? I'll take 4 of them, versus they maybe have just bought 1. So again, society has gotten really good. Corporate America has got really good at taking your money, taking your biggest wealth building tool, and that is your income. You have to get focused on what you're doing with the money you have coming in. You have to understand you don't need everything. And that's what I want to, in this first episode, your biggest wealth. Before you can even begin to create wealth, you have to come to the conclusion. You have to understand that your biggest wealth building tool is your income. And you have to protect that. You can't spend all your time giving that to banks. You can't spend all your time giving that to car dealerships and financing things and giving it to the Rent-A-Center and giving it to everything that else is out there. We're all going to have, you will have payments. You will have to have things in life when you're starting this journey. But you have to begin to get focused about reducing those. So guys, I hope you have a blessed week. Today is Friday the 13th. Oh, I'm not much into Friday the 13th, but hey, if you are, then it's Friday the 13th. I hope you get through this day unscathed, but I hope you have a blessed rest of your weekend. And guys, remember this, life is short. Make it sweet. We'll see you at the next one.